Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another edition of Soccer As We Like It, the Man United direction. Today is February the 6th. This day is a remarkable day in the history of Manchester United. 65 years ago, 1958, February the 6th, Man United were travelling from Belgrade after winning a European game semi-final with Red Star Belgrade. The game ended 3-3 and United were going to play the second leg in Manchester, but they had to go through Germany. While in Germany, the plane failed to take off twice successfully on the runway. On the third attempt, the plane overshot the runway with the ice. It blew up into a farm and exploded. There are 44 people on board, 38 people, 6 crew members, 23 people died, 21 survivors. After those 23 survivors and 21 people died. After those 23 survivors, 8 footballers played for Man United that very day. They were managed by a man called Sir Matt Busby. Matt Busby at the time called them, because there were also many youngsters, young kids who played for Manchester. I'm saying young players who were the future. The best collection of youngest players in United Kingdom were playing for Manchester United. That's why they were known as the Busby Babes. And when they died, there was a guy who was the goalkeeper. His name was Harry Gregg. When the plane exploded, he saved 2 players, Bobby Charlton and David Violet. He went back into the burning plane to fetch 2 people, 2 of his fellow players. He went back in to get a mum and her 22-month-old baby at the time. Harry Gregg is a hero. To go back into a burning plane to save 2 players and a mother and a 22-month-old baby, that's on another level. But it was the circumstances. Even the manager at the time was pronounced dead so many times. Twice they had started to do the last rites for him. But he came back 10 years later to build another team to win the European Cup in 1968. But it is the tragedy that affected in 1958 of the losing the team, the death. It is so much that the whole team, you could imagine a team going to play a European tournament and they don't return back home. That you think about it for a second. And could it have been avoided? Yes, it could have been avoided. They said the pilot should have realized that there was too much snow on the runway to keep attempting to fly out. These were the days whereby that was the only plane out that day. And times have changed. That was 65 years ago. There was a player called Duncan Edwards, one of the greatest young talents in England at the time. He survived, but died of the injuries later in hospital. He was only 17 at the time. You know, United lost a team that was going to dominate Europe for the next 6 years, because that team was so talented at that time, at that age, in 1957, 1958. They had just won the English League title in 57. They went to European Cup in 58, and they were in the semi-finals. They had just got a result 3-3, and were going to play the return leg 2 weeks later in Manchester to see themselves in the finals. But they never made it because the team never returned back. It hurts. It's painful. It was the day a team died. Munich air disaster. So we take a minute of silence every February 6th to remember those lives of those players who fought hard to represent the club in Belgrade, and they died in a plane crash from Germany trying to get back to England. It was a sad. There were some journalists on the plane, so it was a mixture of journalists, staff, and crew members on that flight. But yeah, it is a very sad day in the history of Manchester United. That's why it's called the Munich air disaster. But may their gentle souls rest in perfect peace. May the good Lord continue to bless them and guide their families. It's been 65 years, but people always say they will be missed but never forgotten. I'll see you guys soon.